Imagine looking up at the sky and spotting a bright object with a long tail. Wouldn't that be fascinating? Well, in September 2023, Comet Nishimura gave us exactly that unique spectacle. But if you thought that such exciting visitors from space could only be spotted by special telescopes and trained astronomers, think again. The amazing story of Nishimura shows that any of us can become a comet discoverer in no time at all. If you're annoyed that you missed the brilliant space visitor back then, we have some good news for you. Swan 25F, the next comet, is already on its way. So be sure to stay tuned until the end if you want to know when the celestial body will appear in our earthly field of vision, and how you can observe it yourself. Whether it's Neowise in summer 2020, the Christmas comet Leonard the following year, or Halley's Comet, which makes a detour to Earth every 75 years, these frosty chunks from the outer regions of the solar system occasionally come so close to us that we can even marvel at them with the naked eye. As soon as these objects enter their eccentric orbits near the Sun, the heat from our gigantic source of warmth and life causes frozen gases and dust to evaporate from their surface, forming the characteristic comet envelope, the so-called coma, and the tail. How do we spot these tail stars? That always depends. Most comets are detected during professional sky surveys. They are often discovered through systematic, automated searches for celestial objects, especially potentially dangerous Earth-crossing objects. Our space probes also provide us with important information for comet research. For example, the NASA probe Stardust, which in 2006 succeeded in collecting material from the comet Wild 2 and bringing it back to Earth for investigation. In 2014, the so-called Churyumov-Gerasimenko became the first comet on which a probe landed as part of ESA's Rosetta mission. However, despite these highly professional comet investigations, we shouldn't forget that space probes or special telescopes are by no means always necessary to track down these icy relics from the early days of the solar system. Sometimes, all it takes is a combination of an ordinary camera, a good dose of luck, and a keen eye. An extraordinary chance discovery. On August 12, 2023, Japanese amateur astronomer Hideo Nishimura decided to photograph the night sky with a normal SLR camera. When he looked at his photos, he noticed a remarkable detail, a faint spot of light that hadn't been there before. But that wasn't all. When Nishimura reviewed the photos he had taken the day before, he realized he had actually captured the mysterious object earlier as well. The exciting news quickly spread, and it soon became clear that Nishimura had discovered a previously unknown comet, which was about 10 astronomical units away from the Sun at the time. To put that into perspective, 1 astronomical unit, AU, is the average distance between the Earth and the Sun, which is about 150 million kilometers. In the days that followed, the comet was spotted and photographed by numerous other observers in Japan, the US, Australia, and Austria using telescopes. But strictly speaking, we could have added the object to the star charts much earlier. In fact, the comet was subsequently identified in archived images from the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii and the Palomar Observatory in California. The corresponding images had already been taken in January and March. Well, better late than never. C/2023 P1 Nishimura, a long-period comet. Further analysis revealed that this is a long-period comet. It orbits the Sun in an eccentric path that takes it as far as 110 astronomical units into the outer solar system. As a result, Nishimura can only be found near the Sun every 435 years. Before its sensational discovery, the last time it visited us was in 1588. The fact that it took us so long to find Nishimura, despite all of our state-of-the-art observatories, was due to the direction from which it came. It followed a course on which the Sun strongly outshone all other objects. How Nishimura appeared in the sky. Just how overwhelming the sight of a comet in the sky can be becomes clear when we turn back the clock to October 1965. At that time, a cosmic chunk entered our realm and was so bright that it was visible even during the day, next to the Sun. All in all, Comet Ikea Seiki reached 60 times the brightness of a full moon, making it not only the brightest comet of the 20th century, but also one of the brightest comets of the entire last millennium. Nishimura, on the other hand, was somewhat less impressive. Although visible only as a small faint spot of light, it could still be seen with the naked eye from dark locations. However, the principle of the early bird catches the comet worm applied here. Anyone who wanted to marvel at Nishimura had to look toward the eastern horizon in the constellation Leo at around 5 a.m. With binoculars or a telephoto lens, observers could not only admire the comet as a bright spot, but also see its green color, glowing coma, and characteristic tail of ionized gas and dust pointing away from the sun. Key dates for Nishimura. Perihelion, closest to the sun September 17, 2023. Only 33.7 million kilometers from the sun, within Mercury's orbit. Closest approach to Venus, September 10, 2023. 80 million kilometers. Closest approach to Earth, September 12, 2023. 125 million kilometers. As it moved closer to the sun, it disappeared from view due to solar glare. Later, it reappeared briefly in the western evening sky, but was barely visible due to its position near the horizon and the bright twilight. The last observation was made in May 2024 via a remotely controlled telescope at the Siding Spring Observatory in Australia. By then, the comet was already $4.20 away from the sun. Nishimura will reach its aphelion, farthest point from the sun, in the year 2226, at a distance of 16.4 billion kilometers. Its next return? April 24, 29. But the wait isn't that long. The good news is, we don't have to wait that long. Another comet is already on the way. Meet Swan 25F. This time, it was an Australian amateur astronomer, Michael Mattiazzo, who made the discovery by examining publicly available data from the Soho Solar Observatory. Though Soho mainly focuses on our sun, its Swan UV camera can also detect comets by imaging ultraviolet radiation released from sublimated hydrogen. Mattiazzo spotted a bright, moving dot in late March. Unable to confirm it himself, he shared his discovery, and soon, others captured the first Earth-based images of the comet. Swan 25F, what you need to know. As of mid-April 2025, Swan 25F is visible as a small green dot in the morning sky, shortly before sunrise. You'll need binoculars or a small telescope to see it for now, but it's getting brighter and may soon be visible to the naked eye. Currently in the constellation Pegasus, near the bright star Alpheratz. Will pass through perihelion on May 1, 2025. Only 31 million kilometers from the sun. At the same time, the comet will reach its closest point to Earth. However, due to its proximity to the sun, it will most likely disappear from our field of vision for several days, very low on the horizon and outshone by sunlight. But if Swan 25F survives its approach to the sun, it could reappear in the early evening sky starting in early May, now on the western horizon, shortly after sunset. Bell now, the subscribe button appears below our video horizon. Simply click on the thumb and then unsubscribe to never miss a new post from us again. We'll see you soon.